All right. Welcome to the C Pen for the Win Show. This is your host, Charles Penn. Doing the NBA draft special here for 2020. And I brought a special guest on with me. He played at Toledo for, let's say 3, 4 years. I want to say all
3.
4 years. Three, okay. All right. So he
Mhm.
played at Toledo for 3 years. Of course, I know through my guy, Ryan Pearson. He was a teammate of his. He's currently coaching at Mocan Elite, and he creates content for the Elite Media Group, which is one of the top rising sports media groups in the country. So I want to bring on my guy Reese Holliday here. Reese, how you doing this evening, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Glad to sit here and talk some of this, talk these hoops, talk this NBA draft with you, man. You funny, you one of the sports guys in Kansas City. That's what they know you for out here. So I think this gonna be we gonna have some good content tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But I do want to let you know that this past college basketball season, it's like one of the least I watched it like less than any other college basketball season. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You may have to guide me a little bit on this one, man. But I definitely know some guys out there. But we definitely gonna get it in. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I've seen there's over 254 followers on the Facebook page last time I checked. So I appreciate you guys. 51 subscribers on the YouTube page. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every week. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the top headline here. We got LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. Those are the two names that keep coming up as guys who's going to go number one overall in the NBA draft. So what are your thoughts on those two guys in particular?
I mean, me personally, man, I've thought Ant Man was the best player in this draft class probably since I saw him his 17U summer with the Atlanta Express on the Under Armour circuit. He reminds me a lot, of Victor Oladipo. His body's NBA ready right now, man. I just think he translates really well. Super talented. That's just me personally. Who I would have number one. LaMelo. It took me a lot of time for him to grow on me, man. A lot of time. He has one of probably the most different journeys we've ever seen a kid have to the NBA, with leaving high school after his sophomore year, going overseas, coming back, playing in the league that his dad created, going overseas again, not going to college when, at a point in time, they were all committed to UCLA. The whole family was supposed to go to UCLA. But and we've got to watch him. We've been locked in on him longer than we usually see a guy. A kid coming into the NBA draft. We've been watching him since he was 14 years old, giving Oak Hill 30 pieces and everything like that. And my thing that I always have with LaMelo is I just don't know. It never seemed like he was playing real basketball that would translate. I see on Twitter the other day. It was like the anniversary of his 92-point game or something like that. That he had his sophomore year. And I remember it was a lot of controversy around that game because when it happened, it was like the highlights, a lot of cherry picking, it looked crazy. But 92 is 92 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I
But
definitely remember that game.
yeah, and him pulling up from like pointing at the logo on the floor and pulling up and everything like that.
Yeah, that
You
was
know,
crazy.
it's just he's just been he's like an enigma, man. It's just always been hard for me, but I'm probably more bought in at this point than I have ever been on him. I still like Ant-Man number one. The thing with LaMelo, if he ends up going to the Hornets, man, I don't know how well that works out for him. Because I just as a franchise over there, Mike ain't been really holding it down, unfortunately. So
Yeah, yeah, Mike, man, he's about making that money at the end of the day. I don't know if he's really concerned about building a championship in Charlotte. And the thing is, man, I did hear you on a recent podcast on Play for Keeps touch on Lamelo and like his worst fit, and you did mention how he would feel worse in Charlotte just because of the situation,
mhm.
as far as like how that roster is built currently. So I definitely agree with you on that. But here's my thing with Lamelo, man. I've been hearing all kinds of stuff from the Ball brothers throughout these last few years. It all started with their dad, hyping them up and everything, going on this little WWE tour or whatever. but yeah, man, I've been hearing all this great stuff about all three of them. Jello, how he can shoot and all that, but we seeing that Jello, he hasn't got his opportunity, and I don't know if he'll ever get opportunity in the league. Last time I checked, he was trying out for a G League team or is with a G League team. And then you got Lonzo. He's in the league now. He's been in the league for the past few years. We've seen like flashes of brilliance here and there, but it's not consistent. And like I feel like his shot is still inconsistent. He's still trying to figure out the game. He's still trying to figure out the NBA level. As far as I can say. And but I keep hearing that LaMelo is the best one of them all. That's what I keep hearing. And from the few games I've seen LaMelo play, I mean, we seen his ability to like get his own shot. You seen him be able to get in the lane and create and everything. But I just don't know, man. I don't know if can be sold on a ball brother, man. Like, do you feel that same way in a sense about LaMelo?
You think the Ball family got bad dope? They got bad dope over there.
I don't know, man. It just feels like LeVar did a great job of campaigning, man.
Yeah,
That's what I kind of feel like.
I mean that definitely plays a part, But I mean, it does also say something to LaMelo's talent for him to have gone through everything he's gone through up to this point. And by the time it comes for it to be draft night, you win that top 3. Especially when he was in high school, he wasn't the top 10, top 15 ranked dude in his class or anything like that. I mean, if we just talking talent, man, hands down, LaMelo is the most talented out the family, easily.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's the tallest. Yeah, he has the best jump shot. Honestly, I think he might be a better passer than Lonzo as well. I like LaMelo's vision the best of anything, of any attribute of his at this point in time with his game. So I mean, and I get it. LeVar Ball turned into it's either you love or you hate him. And unfortunately, that trickled down to his kids as well. A lot of people's opinions of how good the Suns were had to do with him. But I mean, I don't know, man. His talent is undeniable. Like you have to take him in the top 5, man. You just have to. He's a 6'7" point guard with amazing vision. I mean, over there in Australia, he didn't shoot it the best, which a lot of people are down on him on his jump shot right now. I want to say he shot sub 30% from the 3. And he struggled over there at times. I used to stay up, him and RJ Hampton, I would stay up and watch their games over there. They would play probably like midnight, 1 a.m. I watched a good number of their games from the NBL this last year. And I mean, LaMelo struggled, but I mean, he's a kid. He was a kid, playing against grown men. But he also had times where he shined and showed those flashes of brilliance that everybody loves him for and so high on him for. So I mean, LeVar definitely plays a part, man. He definitely plays a part, and I think that's been a big reason why the separation has come between his sons and him over this time as well. You seen LaMelo just signed with Puma. And I mean, they're kind of getting away from the triple Bs and everything like that. So I mean, I definitely get why he might have reservations because I have them myself. But we'll see, man. You can't pass up on him. He's super talented. He's very unique too. So
yeah, and I definitely agree with you that he is the best passer out of all of them. I've seen him make some great passes. Like the game, I remember the last time I seen him play a full game, actual full game. This was when he was like overseas. I think he was in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken. Was he in the Philippines? I can't remember which country he was playing in. Not this past, not in Australia. I'm talking about before then.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Philippines. It was like when him and Jello was over there together.
Right.
I can't remember what it was. It was nasty though.
Yeah. That's the last time that's the last time I watched him play a full game, and yeah, he was quite impressive, man. Like I seen him throw like some flashy passes, and then he was hot from the outside that night. So he definitely has the potential to be something. It's just is it gonna be like consistent? You know what I mean? And by the way, people, I see my comment from my producer TJ. He said that Melo will have an immediate impact. He's the best ball brother, and I think he'll make somewhat of an impact. But we just have to see on that. Now, if you guys have if you guys want to chat in and make a few more comments as the show goes along, you guys are welcome to do that. But anyway, I want to say this, man. I think I think the NBA is gonna lean towards Melo. Between Melo and Ant Man, I think they're gonna lean towards Melo from a marketing standpoint, as far as like being the guy in this draft class. Now, is he gonna be the guy? We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Now with Anthony Edwards, I do remember a game. I think it was the Maui tournament. I want to say they played Michigan State and he went
Mhm.
off.
The
I
best
think he had,
performance of the college season last year. Best
yeah,
individual performance.
yeah. I'm right with you on that about the games I've seen in college hoop. But yeah, because this guy was just he was just on fire, man. It was like he was just unbelievable. Like you couldn't stop him whatsoever. Now, I heard you say earlier that you compare his game to Victor Oladipo. What do you see as far as his intangibles, as far as like him being compared to Oladipo?
I mean, outside of they both play for Tom Crean thing. Just his body, his athleticism. You know, Oladipo wasn't known as the greatest shooter coming out, but over time his jump shot has improved. But I just think the size and the athleticism is the most simple way to put it. They're both slashers. You know, Ant-Man took a lot of threes his freshman year. But getting to the basket is his thing. Same thing for Oladipo. You know, just talented, athletic two guards who are athletic, and I mean, I just see a lot of similarities there. I know there are people who have compared him to D Wade as well. Um,
Right.
but I mean, me personally, I don't see that as much as the Oladipo thing, you know.
Me
And
either.
if you think he's D Wade, you 1000% got to take him number one. Like it shouldn't even be a question.
That's how I feel about it, if he really is D Wade. But I really don't see D Wade in this game. You know, I'm kind of leaning towards your comparison as far as Oladipo, which is a very good player. It's not a bad thing to be compared to Victor Oladipo. You know, Oladipo he was a monster when he's healthy. Like I feel like Oladipo, he's still trying to get back from injury or whatever. But you know, everybody knows how good Oladipo has been at his peak. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but the next subject I want to touch on is there's another popular one that's been going on all over social media. Is Obi Toppin. And I remember, like, Obi had this run, right before, the NCAA tournament was starting. And then, of course, that got canceled. I've seen a lot of the Amari Stoudemire comparisons. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the next Amari Stoudemire. No way. No way in heck. But I think I've seen a few elements of his game with Amari. What did you think about that comparison overall with him and Amari in general?
I think it was foolishness. I mean, like I don't think people remember how explosive Amari Stoudemire was and how
Oh,
powerful he was.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, like Obi is good, and one of the things I hate the most about the college season getting canceled is I think he would have had one of the most entertaining tournament runs of anybody in the country. You know, um, but I don't see it. You know, me personally, the comp for him is more so John Collins from the Hawks.
Okay.
I see a lot more of him in Obi's game. But and Amari's like what 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah.
Obi's like
Mhm.
6'7", 6'8", you know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's the thing with Obi too. Like, what position they got to figure out what position is he? He's a four in my mind.
Yeah.
In my mind,
That's
you
how.
know, I can't really see him being able to guard threes like that. One of the biggest things on him is he's stiff. You know, got bad hips, lateral movement, and everything like that isn't the greatest. Um, but you know, Amari was a flat out big. You know, so I don't really see that comparison. But I mean, hey, everybody looks at the game differently. You know, so
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
I'm not always gonna hit with what I think, and people just, I mean, you know, people got different things when it comes to these comparisons, man. It's a tricky thing. It's really tricky because I mean, you compare him to Amari, but does anybody really expect him to come be Amari Stoudemire and have that career?
No, no, not at all.
So what are we really doing with that? You know, it doesn't add up at the end of the day. But I mean, I think just the fast break dunks and his explosiveness, I guess, is where that comp comes from. But I mean, me personally, I don't really see it.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, like speaking of, you know, scouts or talent evaluators like yourself not hitting on everything. Like it's crazy how social media is, man. Like it seems like everybody expects you to be perfect, and we know a
Yeah.
guy, Rashad Phillips. I mean, Rashad, he be on fire with his scouting and everything as far as evaluating talent, but everybody's still getting on him for missing on Luca. Like it happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like and evaluating international players, that's a totally different level of evaluation as far as getting those guys right. So no human's gonna be perfect at the end of the day. Like you're gonna miss here and there, but it doesn't mean you don't know the game. It's just that you missed.
Yeah. Yeah. The 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 way you want to go about it though is people are mad at Shad because they feel like Luka is a can't miss. They feel
Right.
like he was a can't miss for the amount of success he had at the age he had overseas at the top league and everything like that. Like there's nobody in this draft that people feel is a can't miss prospect. There's nobody that they're sitting here saying like he's gonna be a star one day. He's gonna be a superstar one day. You know, there's guys who people are saying like he might be the best player, but they're not saying there's a Luka or a Zion or anything like that in this draft. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you miss, man. You can put all the time in the world and evaluate all the film, and sometimes things just change. But the Luka thing was kind of crazy. But I wasn't high on Luka coming out either because I know over time I've gotten more accustomed to being able to look at overseas guys and tell what they'll be. I used to be just biased against overseas dudes. Like they play different brand of basketball. We look at them as they're softer players and things like that, slower guys, not as athletic, everything like that. But at the end of the day, this is a skill game.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball is a skill game. You ain't got to be the most athletic dude in the world, man. If you are a high level skill player, then you can find success in the league.
Yep. And to me, like the EuroLeague basketball and stuff, I think it's just about on the level of the NBA. Like I think you can actually play defense in the EuroLeague in comparison to the NBA, certain rules and everything. So I think Luca, since he was 15, he been playing with pro guys and everything. I think it helped translate to the NBA overall. Now I didn't think he'd be this good either. I know 29, 9, and 9, not
No,
that level, but it's
nah,
it's a testament to his work ethic and him to be able to adapt to the game. It's like, heck, like I played in a tough league out in Europe, so this should be nothing to me, and that's
yeah.
been the case. Now,
He'll
speaking of international,
next year.
oh my bad.
No, you good. You good. Now, that's all I said was I think he'll be probably the front runner for MVP next year. I think it's gonna be him and Anthony Davis fighting for it.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be up there in MVP for sure. Now, speaking of international guys, I'm going to transition here. I see a couple of top international guys that's been popping up, like Killian Hayes and
Mm-hmm.
Denny. I I doubt I can't pronounce his last name.
I'll be
Avita? Avita. Okay. And then you got Onye. Can you consider Onyeka Okongwu
nah,
international?
nah. He went to high school with he went to Chino Hills with LaMelo and them actually. So nah,
Okay, okay. All
yeah,
right. I wasn't sure if he was born in US or not, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Killian
but
Hayes, Killian Hayes was born over here too, but
oh okay.
he's playing over in France. But yeah,
Okay. So
similar to Tony Parker.
oh okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So what do you so okay, so what do you think about the European guys here of Killian Hayes and Denny Avita?
I think I'm really high on Killian, man. He's continued to grow on me, over time. I think he can. I think he has the potential to end up being the best guard in this draft. You know, he plays at his own pace. He's crafty with the finishes. Um, he reminds me a lot of D'Angelo Russell. He's not the passer that D'Angelo Russell is, but the movements are very similar. They're both lefties. Um, he's really good, man. He's really good. Still young. I think he's only 19. Uh, Denny is another one too, who I think has a chance to be really, really good. Really a high level rotational guy. Especially depending on where he lands. But I'm really high on those. So I think both of those two guys are maybe
Okay.
if not top 5, got to be top 7. Like I wouldn't let either one of them slide outside of the top 7. I think the Pistons are going to take Killian if he's still there at that point. I don't see Denny falling out the top 5.
Yeah, and Pistons, they definitely need some guard play right now.
Pistons is
They're
very
yeah, they currently rebuilding and everything, so they definitely need that spark, man. Whether it's him or a guy like R.J. Hampton, I think. Now, R.J. Hampton, he's a guy that's kind of been a little bit under the radar all of a sudden, because I remember before he decided to go play overseas, he was being hyped up as one of the top
mm-hmm,
players in the country. So,
mm-hmm.
what do you think about R.J. and where his best fit would be?
And that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing when it comes to dudes when they choose the overseas route. Once you do that, you're off the grid. It seems like for a year. When people forget about you. If R.J. Hampton goes to college, he's probably being looked at as a top 10 pick easily. Now, I mean, maybe he's fringe lottery closer to 20. Just because of that decision alone. But it's crazy. I was watching the special they did on the EYBL for this last season. And RJ was one of the guys that they focused on. He ended up playing the first session in Atlanta and then made the announcement he was going pro after that. So he didn't play anymore in that summer. But I mean, RJ, he's a weird one. You want to like him because of his frame, and he got the look and things like that. Good size, athleticism. I know some people who have been working with him out in Memphis that they say his jump shot is very much improved. But I mean, a lot of people can make shots in an empty gym. I got to see if it translates.
Oh yeah.
You gotta find out if he's a point guard too, though, man. I don't know if he's a point guard at the NBA level. More of a combo than anything like that. Maybe he'll just be a straight 2. But I mean, he's talented. His pops has tried to set him up to have success. Like his deal he signed for the shoes. I can't remember what company it was, but shit, man, like $3.5 million off of that. Like that's special. That's special stuff right there, man. Putting yourself in position. So maybe even if you don't make it in the NBA the way you think, you still have this to fall back on already. So I mean, that's something I really respected about him and his camp originally with him coming out. But I don't know, man. I think a place like New York might be interested for RJ. Somewhere put him on the stage, man. He's an exciting dude to watch. He's an exciting dude to watch. I don't know how quickly he translates. That's the thing too with a lot of these guys, man. You got no summer league, not really no training camp. You coming from draft night, shit. You playing a month later, if it's even that long. You coming right out into it. So I mean, I don't know how quickly some of these dudes are going to translate. I don't know if they're going to have any impact their first year. I can see a lot of dudes struggling, like really struggling. So with RJ, I don't know, man. I see him as a late lottery guy. In my opinion, I think on my mock I had him like not my mock, but my big board. I think I had him 17th.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have questions about him. I've had questions about him since I've seen him on the EYBL circuit and everything like that. But I mean, he's intriguing. He's a very intriguing prospect. Probably one of the top 5 most intriguing dudes of what they can be, because people think he can be. If people say he has one of the highest ceilings out of this draft, so we'll see how it goes with him. But I think a place like New York might be a good fit, though.
Okay. Well, I think he'll land in the top 10 somewhere. But like you said, the Knicks, I say Pistons could be a destination for him. So I think he'll make the top 10 just barely somewhere.
You taking him before Cole?
I mean, just based on like his athletic ability, explosiveness, he might be able to turn to something. I think I'd probably take him over Cole barely just now. But we're gonna touch on Cole here in a sec, man, because I know we both been indifferent on Cole Anthony, so we're gonna get to him in a sec.
Yeah.
But just to conclude with the international guys, I do want to go back to Denny Avdija. Now, I never really heard of Denny Avdija. Like, I seen a few highlights and clips and everything. Like, it looked like he got some ability, but I'm just not. I just don't know about him. Like, is he gonna be a guy that's gonna have to develop for a few years before he can make an impact, or can he make an immediate impact right away?
I mean, it depends on where he lands, man. Like, and that's the thing. Like when the draft you with a top 5, top 10 pick, you want a guy who's gonna be able to help you immediately. You know, like, but say he goes somewhere, excuse me, like the Pistons or the Hornets or something like that. Nah, I don't think he's gonna be making any noise, anything like that. Like certain guys, there are guys in this draft. They're going to be rotational dudes. You know, they're not going to be the guy. And if you put them in a situation where they have to be the guy, it hurts them. You know, um, that's been the knock on this draft. Not a lot of stars, but I think there are a lot of role players, solid role players in this draft, going all the way to the second round. You know, um, but Denny's good, man. He reminds me a lot of Bogdanovich, you know. And Bogdanovich is a really good player. You know, they hyping him up. He's with the Bucks now. They saying the Bucks got the best starting 5 in the league, getting him and Drew. So I mean, I think Denny's pretty good. Um, like if he goes somewhere like the Bulls, I can see that being a good fit for him because I mean the Bulls got guys, man. They have a really good young core. Hopefully it can start, you know, but I don't. I'm not sure, but I like Denny. I don't like him more than Killian. The more film I watch and the more research I'm doing, I don't like him more than Killian. I had him above Killian, but I mean those are easily the top two foreign guys in this draft. Easily.
Based on what I'm seeing, I mean, it's clear as day. Those are the two foreign guys you look at early on if you are looking for that European talent for sure.
Yeah.
Now I want to touch on the sleepers here real quick. Um, you had mentioned this guy. You had mentioned this guy recently. And this is a guy that Rashad Phillips earlier in the year he had interviewed and everything. And Jamias Ramsey, like, how come Jamias hasn't really been getting that talk leading up to this draft?
Um, it's weird to me, man. It's weird how some freshmen's numbers are viewed differently than other guys. Like he was easily one of the best freshman guards in the country, scoring wise, shooting wise, everything like that. He shot 42% from the three, and coming into college, all the questions about him was can he shoot the ball. So even with those numbers, people still don't like. I think I got Jamias as an easy lotto guy, you know. But I mean, shit, if he can slip somewhere like I think the Heater at 20, 21, something like that, if he can slip somewhere like Miami, that's amazing. That's a perfect fit for him. But I mean, Jamias is like he's literally a more offensively talented Marcus Smart. He has the athleticism, he has the length, he's a dog defensively. Um, can be a secondary. Can be a secondary ball handler. Maybe can spend some time at the point if you need him to. But I mean, he's really good, man. Especially if that jumper is really what it showed to be last year. I think he's easily one of the best. Like I said, a rotational guy. He can be a starter on the championship team or a 6-man type dude. I mean, but I'm really high on Jemias. I liked him ever since he was at Duncanville in high school and everything like that. Super talented kid and a hard worker.
Yeah, I felt like Jemias checked all the boxes to me from what I've seen. Because and I just feel like, man, like there's not really much talk about Jemias if any leading up to this draft. Like I think a lot of people are sleeping on him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, if he doesn't go on a lotto, that's really a shame, honestly, for real, because he did what he needed to do at the college level when he answered the questions that needed answering. So it's weird. Like another dude I feel like that about is Zeke Naji. He averaged 16, 17, and 9 as a freshman. A lot of other people are doing that. You saying he's a top 5, top 10 pick. But he, even on his own team, he might be the third player drafted off that Arizona team. With Josh Green and Nico Mannion both going before him. But I mean, he was the best guy and the most consistent guy through the whole year. So it's weird how we view that, man. Everybody numbers aren't all created equally.
about that. And I was just about to ask if that was the Arizona guy because that name did stick out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Arizona definitely had some talent on their team this past season. It's just that for whatever reason, they couldn't quite put it all together. But here's another guy that I feel like people are kind of sleeping on here. I feel like people are kind of sleeping on Grant Riller. Grant Riller. This is a guy. This is another guy
Oh,
Rashad put me on. He
yeah,
could score. He could
yeah,
score.
yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing with Grant, and I mean that I probably think that his biggest issue is, I mean, he's old. You know, same thing with Obi Toppin. I think Grant's like 23. I think he's 23, maybe 24, but I want to say he's 23. But you know how guys are. They're sticklers with age in the NBA. Um, Kyle Kuzma kind of suffered from the same thing. Once dudes are juniors and seniors and things like that. People have criticized Obi because he's an older guy. He's probably the oldest guy in the top 10. He did a post grad year, and then I think he redshirted at Dayton as well. So you coming in as a 20-year-old freshman once you finally get on the court and everything like that. But the Grant Riller thing, I think he got a chance too. Reminds me a lot of Van Fleet. If he can, if he reaches his ceiling, I think he's a better scorer than Van Fleet was at this point in time. But yeah, he's really good. He's really good, man. And he's a mid-major guy too. So dudes aren't always aware. That's the thing. That's the thing I think Rashad is best at is finding the guys at that level. That's what makes his eye special. It's easy to pick out the 5 stars and the 4 stars, but being able to evaluate those guys at the mid-major level or the guys who the late bloomers and everything like that, I think that's where he excels at the most.
He's definitely a mid-major guy. He came from a mid-major school, so
Mm-hmm.
he definitely has that eye for talent in that league for sure. I mean, other than the normal guys you normally see on TV or hear about in media, and everything. So, here's another guy I want to talk about here. It seems like this guy is falling on the draft board a little bit. Isaac Okoro from Auburn. It seems like he kind of sliding down people's draft boards a little bit. Do you know why he's kind of sliding down a little bit?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not sure because I know at a point in time he was a consensus top 5 guy. Like he spent a lot
Yeah.
of time in that top 5 when the season was actually going. I mean, the questions, the thing he's been falling in guys like Tyrese Halliburton and Rising. You know, I mean that's just how it goes sometimes. But I mean, Okoro is a guy that he wasn't even supposed to be here anyway. So I mean, he's still looked at as a top 10 lotto guy. So he's winning at the end of the day. He's supposed to, a lot of people looking at him like he's still supposed to be at Auburn, getting ready to play his sophomore year of college basketball. So I mean, the questions with him are his shooting. That's the biggest thing with him. They're looking at him as a 3-and-D guy, but I mean, if you can't shoot the ball, where's the 3 part coming in at? So I mean, but he's super athletic. I think, me personally, I think he's the best defender in this draft just because of how versatile he is. Way he can use his body and his athleticism to control guys and everything like that. But he shouldn't fall out of the top 10. I'm actually watching this draft special that they got on ESPN right now. I think it looks like they have him at Jay Billis got him at 7. So I mean, he's definitely,
Yeah.
because I've seen him in that. I know he spent a lot of time in that 3-4 range, but I mean, I don't know how well he's been testing and workouts and everything like that. But it's probably um, his him being able to make shots is probably the biggest thing the guys are having questions about, or if why he slipped at all.
Tyrese Halliburton. I'm glad you mentioned his name because he's been a hot topic. I think the consensus going around him is that he's the most overrated player in the draft. Do you agree that he's the most overrated player in the draft, or are people just being too loose with that term, overrated, as far as his game's concerned?
I think after LaMelo I think the same thing with LaMelo is the same thing with Halliburton. Either you love him or you hate him. You know, it's not really. I haven't met too many people or talked to many people who are in between. You know, a lot of people have questions. Is he a point guard? Is he going to be able to get his jump shot off? Because you know his form is weird and everything like that. Um, but yeah, he's probably been the biggest riser of anybody, especially since the season ended. You know, like if he goes top 5 tomorrow, can't really be surprised because he's been getting so much hype and guys love him. And the thing with Halliburton is he seems like he's a guy, he's one of the few guys who you can insert him and from day one help you win basketball games because of his IQ. Um, I know he has a super weird shot. I hate his jump shot, but shit, it go in. You know, it
Yeah,
goes
right,
in.
right.
I had a conversation with one of my guys, Mark Edwards. I'm like, my biggest question is, can he get it off in space when guys are guarding him and everything like that? And I said, show me that. He kept sending me clips of him making open threes. I said, yeah, I know he can do that, but yeah, when you got high level athletes guarding you every day, you gonna be able to get this off the dribble. And I think that's the biggest question about him right now. But like, I know the Spurs don't have a chance to get him or anything like that. But a dude like that in the San Antonio system, like it's a match made in heaven. Perfect just for his mentality, IQ, and everything like that. But I don't think he's a top 5 guy. I didn't have him in my top 10. I had him pretty low on my big board, and he's probably one of the guys I'd probably receive some of the most backlash for too. I think I had him between 15 and 20. And a lot of people have him top 10 guy consensus. But I mean, I don't know, man. I just think there's a good number of guards that are better. But I think he's safe. I think he's a safe pick, so it just depends on how you look at it.
Yep, yeah, I agree with you because like Halliburton, I mean, I like this game and everything, but like he ain't played a full season for one, and two, like
They
I
weren't
didn't
good.
really see top five guy. I didn't really see top five guy when I watched Halliburton. Now, borderline top 10 or just outside of top 10, yeah, maybe you can make a case for that. But top five, I didn't really see that. So I'm not gonna say he's the most overrated, but like, is he being hyped a little too much? Maybe. So we just want to find out where he lands and see how his game translates in the system, whatever he plays at. But yeah, let's get to your guy Cole Anthony because there's definitely some guards within his range that I'm looking at, man. I know you said that you had very high stock on Cole Anthony from the beginning. Just from seeing him in AAU high school ball in general. Like when you seen him play, I remember you saying he was the number. You would take him number one overall or whatever.
Yeah,
It did like in the college season, like things didn't go well in college. You know what I'm saying? Like situation was out of his hands and everything or whatever. But just from like the few games I've seen early on, like before the injuries piled up and everything, and I just didn't really see number one overall guy or top five overall guy. But of course, but you told me that you gotta throw that college season out, and I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt in that asset. So now, where Cole Anthony is adding in this draft and everything, where do you have Cole Anthony? Like, where do you have him on your big board? And how can you sell me on Cole Anthony for the NBA?
this is the thing with Cole, man. Cole was in the worst basketball situation of maybe any guy with his rep in the country. There was absolutely no spacing. Every time he touched the ball, he was swarmed. It just wasn't a good fit. He got hurt. Him deciding to come back, I think that was a really brave thing to do. Because the season was already cooked. They weren't gonna make the tournament. They had already been losing a lot. But he still decided to show that heart and come back and everything like that. But I think with Cole, man, in a draft where you don't think guys are stars, I want the dude that's gonna be able to play 10 years in the league. You know, I don't know if Cole's gonna be a starter forever, but I think he can be a high level. I think his floor is a high level backup. You know, and those kind of dudes are important. The thing with Cole is if he doesn't have success from day one, how is he going to react to it? You know, what type of mentality are you going to have? Because it's hard, man. When you get to the league, you've probably been the guy your whole life, especially with him. I know his dad was an NBA guy. You know, he's dominated at every level. And now, once you get to the association, they got you coming off the bench. So, you know, all the main questions about him are, is he a good teammate? You know, those questions date back to even before he got to college, everything like that. But I mean, his talent is undeniable. He didn't finish well, you know, around the rim this year. But I mean, he's athletic. You know, he works hard. He doesn't turn the ball over at a high rate. And it's just like, it's not many dudes you're gonna take before him. You know, how many guards in this class are you gonna seriously sit here and say that they're just better? You gonna spend a draft pick on them if you're a GM? It can't be like, I don't see. There's no more than 5, no more, and that's stretching it, honestly. So like with like we were talking about with him or RJ Hampton earlier, like it's a crapshoot. When we get down to these dudes, it's a crapshoot, you know. So I mean, it depends on what you value. It just depends on what you value, man. But I like Cole, man. Cole is super talented, and he works hard. It was just something that I really appreciate with dudes. Like if you're a hard worker, I'm gonna put more stock in you than somebody who may be more talented than you. But I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to sell Cole off that freshman season. But I think if you really evaluating him and you decide to put that away, and the other things that he showed you while he was at Oak Hill or while he was on the EYBL circuit, everything like that, that shit is undeniable, dog. Things he was doing, the things he was the way he was dominating on the court is undeniable. You know, shit. He was another dude who was in the top 5 coming out. Like when the college season started, saying he's gonna be a top 5 pick. You know, but I mean, with the situation, everything like that, things change. But the talent hasn't changed. He's still the same player that he was.
A few guards right now, man. Like to me, I just feel like there's definitely a few more that I would probably take over Cole, man. Like just guards that could translate to the pro game, in my opinion. I'm not saying Cole is not gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Cole, he'll probably end up being a decent pro, man. Like you said, his dad used to be a pro. I'm sure his dad been grooming him this entire time to get ready for this moment. So, but I'm looking at guys like I'm looking at Trey Jones. I'm looking at Cassius Winston. Maybe yes, bro. Yeah, maybe Kira Lewis Jr. from Alabama. Like, there's a few guards that I kind of like more over Cole Anthony, in my opinion, man.
You taking
and even Tyrell Terry from Stanford. I like this game more than Cole Anthony.
I'm high on him. He's a sleeper. You taking Trey Jones and Cassius Winston over Cole Anthony?
Oh, man, like
what translates with Trey? What translates with Trey Jones? Do you think Trey Jones will ever be a starter in the NBA?
The top 15 that's gonna get drafted, not all these guys are gonna be starters. You know, or even top 20, not all these guys are gonna be starters. But I just look at like impact. Like Trey Jones, when I look at him, he can impact the NBA team. Like he don't have to be a starter. He can come off the bench and just give you that energy. You know, D up, run the team, you know, run the sets, all that.
So he Patrick Beverly.
Say he's Patrick Beverly?
That's all I'm asking. So you're telling me he's Patrick Beverly? You taking Patrick Beverly over?
Man.
Come on, man.
No, man. No way. No way Trey is Patrick Beverly. He ain't like that. Come on now.
I don't know if he'll be as good as Patrick Beverly. And Cash, the thing with Cassius, man, Cassius is an amazing college point guard. Is his game translating to the NBA? You know, that's the thing with Trey too. Trey was ACC Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. That was the genders, but whatever. But that's cool. But what is translated from their game to the NBA? That's what I want to know. More than Cole Anthony.
Is it? I don't know, man. Like it probably just depends on the situation where to get drafted at. Like it Trey ends up in a great situation late in the draft or whatever, then he might be able to make a bit of more of an impact. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a little different on Cole Anthony, man. But you may be right about him at the end of the day. Cole, once he gets to the league, it'll probably be different for Cole, man. Cole will get back to being that guy we knew like in high school and AAU before going to North Carolina. So, but I don't know, man. Like,
crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know, man. It's like I remember that Duke North Carolina game, man, and it's like Cole was just kind of I don't know. I just didn't quite see it from Cole that day, but who knows, man? I could be wrong. You probably more right than me. So, and I'll take back Kerry Lewis Jr., man. Cole's better than him. I'll take that back. But those other three guards, yeah. I think they better than Cole.
I like Kyra, man. He got a chance. He's the only one I agree with out of anybody you name. The rest of them, hell no. Kyra, maybe though. Maybe.
You don't think Tyrell Terry is better than Cole?
I'm not drafting him first. I'm not drafting him
first. You
would
draft him before Cole?
I like him. Nah, but I like him a lot though. I like him a lot. I'm not gonna hold you.
I think his game translates better than this current NBA. The way this current NBA is, I think his game translated better than me.
Maybe. I mean, I'm mad at that. And so Tyrell Terry, he's a lotto guy. You taking him in the lotto?
Borderline lotto. I'll probably take him in the late lotto.
And Cole not lotto. You're not taking Cole in the lotto. You taking him at the end of the first round.
If it was the last pick, if it was those two players available with the last pick in the lottery, in that lottery area, I'm probably taking Tyrell over Cole. That's just me.
All right. I'm not mad.
But like I said, but like I said, you may end up being more right than me. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Now, I want to ask you this: as far as like the guys that aren't getting mentioned, like maybe like the second rounders or whatever, like name me some guys that we need to keep our eye on as far as like guys that can go in the second round and impact and make more of an impact than what we're going to be accustomed to, I guess, or than what we predict.
Yeah. One of them is like I was talking about earlier, Zeke Naji. I think he'll be late first or early second. Josh Hall is a guy that I'm really high on. He decided to skip college, and did a post grad year of high school and trained. And he's a guy I think who has maybe one of the highest ceilings for the wings in this draft, from Moravian Prep from North Carolina. Josh Hall, Jalen Smith from Maryland. They call him Sticks. About 6'9".
Yeah. I heard about Jalen Smith. Yeah, I like Jalen Smith.
Yeah,
that was one of the sleepers that was mentioned earlier. Like a few months ago on social media, somebody had mentioned Jalen Smith from Maryland. So
Isaiah Joe from Arkansas is a guy I think can end up being a big time scorer out of this draft. And let me see who else. Oh yeah, Malachi Flynn from San Diego State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely like him for sure.
He'll be a guy. I want to say Miles Powell, man. I like Miles Powell a lot from Seton Hall. I ain't like they put the dude's measurements and everything like that. I think he had one of the highest body fats. You know, that's been a thing from him. That's been a thing for him. He used to be like super heavy, but I mean he locked in and lost a lot of weight. He took his game to another level. But I want to say Miles Powell, man, but small two guards just they don't sometimes they don't hit, you know. But Miles is a hooper, man. Miles is a hooper though, and your guy Grant Riller that we were talking about. So those are probably just off the top the ones the guys I have who are probably second round picks who I think are going to be pretty good who got a chance to really make some noise, you know.
Yeah, like you mentioned with Miles Powell, man, because Powell, like he was going back and forth with him throughout the year, and like you said, like his body size for being a two guard, you don't know if like he can get a shot up against
Yeah,
your normal size two guards and everything, but the guy can hoop, man, and I think if he goes to the right situation, he can make a little bit of an impact, in my opinion. I
what
like
you
what I've seen from him
what you
next
think
time we
about
see him.
Marcus Howard from Marquette? Because I think they're pretty similar, both undersized two guards, you know. I don't know if you've seen him or not, but dude was he's a pretty good
So
scorer.
Marcus Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he know how to get his shot off and everything. He's definitely creative with getting his shot off. Like he took a lot of outside shots, but when he was on. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that like I don't know if his size is gonna hurt him as far as like where he gets drafted. Like does he go does he go middle second round or late second round or what? Because
I
he
think
seems
drafted.
you will go undrafted.
Maybe. I think both of them got a chance to go undrafted. But that doesn't mean they don't get a shot, you know, a shot at the league. But I mean, I could see it happening for both of them. You know, I think Miles measured in at like 6 foot. I think Marcus measured in at like 5'11" or something like that.
Right.
You know, that's tough, man. That's tough for two guards. Like those dudes are two guards. They're not PGs, you know. So I don't know. But I like Miles a lot, and I like Miles people a lot, man. So I'm rooting for him for sure.
So like it was between the two. I look more so Marcus maybe being the guy that's undrafted. Because I was looking at him more maybe being the undrafted guy out of those two in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, both of those guys they'll get their shot and we'll see. We just have to see if they make the roster. If they don't make the roster, hopefully they'll get that G League run to where, they improve and everything and they'll maybe get a shot then. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Now, for as far as like your prediction, as far as like the top 10, like how's the board gonna go as far as the top 10 is concerned for the draft?
Um, we talking what I think it'll be, what the draft order will be, or do I what the top 10 guys I
Yeah, yeah, the draft order. Like how's the draft order gonna go? Like
let
who's going where?
me pull this up, man. This order real quick. I got Ant-Man going to Minnesota.
Okay.
I got Wiseman going to Golden State. I have LaMelo going to Charlotte. That fourth one is tricky, man. That fourth one is tricky with the Bulls. I think they might take Killian. I think they might take Killian at 4, man. Um,
Okay. Yeah, they definitely could use a guard for sure.
I got I got I got Obi going to the Cavs. That's you might as well book that. That's been the talk. Um, the Hawks, man, I don't know. They've been talking about trading this pick too. I don't know, man. Like I could see them doing something like taking Isaac Okoro, but I don't know how much sense that would make with Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter on the team already. Taking another 3-and-D guy is kind of weird. Maybe they go for Denny. I like Denny as a good pick for them. Abdia. Detroit. If Killian's not there, if Killian is still there, they're gonna take Killian. Or I think they might take Kyra too. I think Detroit's going for a point guard.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Dang.
Detroit.
Wow, that's a lot of praise. So you got Kyra going that high?
Yeah, I got Kyra top 10, man.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm with it, man, because I like Kyra's game too, man. So
I got him top 10, man. He's the fastest player in the draft. He's the youngest dude in the draft. He's a better passer than he's given credit for. It's shades of he shows a lot of shades of John Morant. With his style of play and everything like that, man. I think Kyra might have I was talking to Trevor today, actually, Trevor Rutherford. One of the best point guards ever out of Kansas City. He said he thinks, I don't know how much bias this was because he went to Bama too, but he said Kyra got the highest ceiling of any point guard in the draft. So we'll see. I like him a lot. I could see him going that high. Let me see who was after that. The Wizards. I think the Wizards take a Coro. The Knicks at 8. Like I said earlier, I can see. I think the Knicks are going point guard too. I think the Knicks might take Cole.
Wow, you still think Cole going to the top 10? All right.
Hey man, look, I'm telling you, I'm watching the draft show now. Jay Billis got him at 9. He got him at 9, man. We gonna see. We gonna see.
So yeah, we gonna see.
This is the thing about this draft. Like, we truly don't know where nobody's going after that first 3. Besides Obi, I know the Cavs are taking Obi. That's it. But outside of that, man, dudes can go anywhere. It's a lot of fluctuation going on. Isaac Okoro can go shit. He can go 4, or he can go 11 to the Spurs or something. So
yes,
we'll see. I got Tyrese Maxey going to Phoenix to the Spurs. So I think that rounds out the top 10. But it's tough, man. It's tough because I think Patrick Williams got a chance from FSU. Big O from USC is gonna go top 10. He's gonna go top 10. Let me change my Pistons pick to Big O.
Okay.
So
man, but yeah, man, like with Cole Anthony, man, it really wouldn't shock me, honestly, because his dad played for the Knicks. So, that would kind of be like a Knicks pick, honestly. Not saying it was a bad pick.
He's from up there.
So. Yeah. So, yeah, it wouldn't shock me, man. So, hey, you may be right. Like I said, you may be right about Cole Anthony at the end of the day. So, I'm going to hold you to that, man. But, yeah, as far as, like, your top 3, man, I can see it going that way. But I think I'm going to go a little different, man. And it may shock you a little bit, but just from like a marketing standpoint, man, I can see the Timberwolves going from a marketing standpoint instead of like basketball sense, in my opinion. I think they'll take LaMelo number 1 over Ant-Man just for the marketing. That's how I see it, man.
You think the NBA letting the Ball brother go number 1?
I think so, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy how these things play out at times, bro. So, yeah, I think LaMelo's gonna be the number 1, and then I think Ant-Man's gonna go to Charlotte.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough for either one of them, man. Charlotte ain't it, dog.
You said Charlotte. You said you're a dead man walking in Charlotte.
Hey, for real though. And this is the thing too, man. Like, they've been talking, like, nobody's valuing these picks. If all 3 of these top 3 picks get traded tomorrow, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if the T-Wolves trade the number 1 pick. I'm not going to be shocked if the Warriors trade that number 2 pick. They openly been outward saying they want to trade it. They want to trade it, but I don't know what do you get back for the number 2 pick in Wiggins? You know, are you getting a star with that? Are you getting a guy that can come be your third guy? I don't know. I don't think the market for Wiggins is that great.
So I was going to ask you about these top 10 teams. These top 10 teams mentioned, which teams could you see trading out of their picks? And you already mentioned 2 already. Do you see anybody else in the top 10 that might be able to trade out? I know you mentioned Minnesota, you mentioned Golden State, and you mentioned maybe Atlanta.
Yeah, I think Atlanta might, if they don't trade out, then they'll try to trade up. You know, I think the Knicks may try and trade up. You know, they got a lot of pieces that don't fit. So I could see them get to shipping dudes. You know, but I think though that top 3 though, man. I mean, everybody looks at this. Everybody's just always saying this is a weak draft. Like that's been the consensus on this draft on this class since the spring. You know, so I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think guys are. I think we're going into a time in the NBA where the guys don't want to build teams. You know, they want to acquire dudes who are proven already. You know, like we just watched the Bucks give up the farm for Drew.
Crazy, man. Like 3 future first rounders for Drew?
Exactly.
I don't know about that. What's hard to go command the future starting 5?
See. hey, man. I don't think the Rockets is moving hard, dog. They not going. They not going.
Man, that's tough, man. That's tough to really move on from Harden like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know why he want to leave so bad. For real.
I kind of touched on it. My bad. I kind of touched on it like on my recent episode, man. Because I said like, I don't know if I remember. I don't remember if I touched on it or not. But like, Steven Silas just got there. You know, he's the son of Paul Silas. He's a brother. And, you know, another black coach in the NBA. You know, kind of needed that. But I've always said like, whenever these black coaches get hired, they don't really have the talent in front of them. They got to build the team up. And all of a sudden, he gets hired, and now all of a sudden, Westbrook and Harden and all those guys want out. Like, what the heck is going on, man? Like, I don't know if it's politics behind that stuff or what, but it's ridiculous, man. It seems like it's the same cycle over and over again as far as the treatment of black coaches in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about that. I do think if they hired John Lucas, that it maybe wouldn't have been this. You know, and John Lucas is the black coach, but I mean, I don't know if Silas was their choice. You know, when they were talking candidates, I never really heard and saw any reports saying that Russ and Harden, that's the guy that they wanted. I saw John Lucas. I was hearing John Lucas. That's who they wanted. You know, so I mean, even then, at the same time, do you feel like Russ or Harden owe him anything? You know, do they owe him to play for him for a year? You know, but I mean, you're definitely right about African American coaches being in bad situations. You know, either you're stuck with a bad team, or you're stuck with a middle of the pack team that you're never given the right tool to, you know, to elevate. You know, and if you're just middle of the pack for long enough, then they get rid of you, just like what happened with Nate McMillan. You know, right. Pacers overachieved in a lot of people's eyes, but it didn't matter. I don't know. Right. It's weird, man. It's weird. And when it comes to, I know M-Grads and Tony Parker, they just dropped their first pod, and they touched on it too about how, I mean, it's just a carousel with white coaches and how they're just constantly recycled. White coaches and GMs, you know, just constantly recycling and giving opportunity after opportunity, even when they've proved that maybe they don't deserve that opportunity. But no, it's a tricky game, man. It's a tricky game. I hope if they do end up, I think Russ is gone for sure. I think he's gone. But I mean, if they do give up, I don't think they're giving up Harden without getting any real player back. So I mean, hopefully Silas has something to work with if they do ship those guys.
Mm-hmm. Here's another comment I'm gonna read here about James Harden. It's from my mom actually. I don't know if it's actually her though, but there's a might be from pops, but there's nowhere Harden can go and make a team a champion unless he change his game. Now you a big Harden guy, so what's
Mm-hmm.
your opinion about that?
My thing with Harden is, man, like we act like we've watched him play just this way his entire career. He was playing the style of basketball his head coach was telling him to play. Before D'Antoni got there, Harden shot middies. Harden wasn't just ISOing all game. He was doing what he was told to do. We saw him play a different style of basketball in OKC as well. Like people say it won't work with him, Kyrie, and KD because there ain't enough balls to go around. Dog, Harden is a willing passer. I've seen him. I think Harden's a top 5 passer in the league. Me personally, but when you kicking it to PJ Tucker and Daniel House all game, yeah, maybe I'm going to take some shots that maybe I shouldn't take, but on a team where there's where there's balance and more guys to help, I think Harden was just fine. If it comes down to those three, I think Kyrie has the hardest time adjusting out of anybody. If we just talking those three, but I mean, Harden was he was playing the style of basketball he was told to play, man. We've seen him be a different player before and have success being a different player. So I think he's caught a bad rap over time for that. He's not gonna go to Brooklyn and
It's
shoot 12 games.
that was one of the frustrating things from watching from Harden in Houston because it's like I was just wondering, like, how come he's not taking the mid-range jumpers like how he was in OKC? Because they're there and he's just not taking them. So, since you made that point, he is coachable. He'll listen to
Yeah,
what the coach provides for him, and I think maybe sometimes too will follow with that D'Antoni system. So, who
yeah.
knows, man? Like wherever he goes, if he stays in Houston or if he gets traded somewhere, I mean, hopefully he'll start using that mid-range game again because it's not like he can't hit the shot. He can hit the shot easily. It's
He can.
just that like the mid range makes the game easier for all these cats.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. You commented on it yesterday when I said it. I said James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and KD is the best big three that we've ever seen.
Kevin Durant. My bad.
Huh?
What were you saying about Kevin Durant?
No, I made the tweet yesterday and you commented on it I said James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and KD is the best big three that we've ever seen.
Yeah, you kind of wilding on that, bro. Like, like let's calm down here, man. Like, we don't know if this trade gonna happen, and if they do that, this trade does happen, man. We just gotta wait and see, dog. I can't really say that right now because we have seen some great trios throughout NBA history, man. I can't give them that just yet, man.
There's only one that you can even compare. It's only one. Only the Golden State one. That's it. That's the only big three. All right, so maybe, and then I thought about it too. Maybe I worded it wrong. Maybe I should have said this is the most talented big three.
A little more sense. Talented, yeah, I can ride with that. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
best trio overall. Like let's calm that down a little bit.
I got you, man. I got you.
Well, I'm gonna just to wrap this up here, man. Now that we basically touched on everything regarding the draft, talk about the future guys that could be in the NBA draft coming up. We seen last week, the high school showcase on ESPN, 3 games or whatever. We seen Mikey Williams, we seen MJ Rice, Imani Bates, Chet Holmgren, Jaden Hardy, and who was the last guy, man? Who was the last guy that was highlighted on Bronny's team?
Amari Bailey.
It is Amari Bailey. All right,
Yeah.
so what's your opinion overall on all those guys, man? and where their ceiling can be in the NBA.
I mean, me personally, man. I mean, if you know me, you know how invested I am at the high school level of basketball and college. You know, so having a night where it felt like the whole timeline was actually tapped into high school basketball, which is something that rarely happens. You know,
Yeah,
so that was something that I really
right.
appreciated. And dudes performed like those guys after that Oak Hill
Yes,
game.
yeah, they
Like,
did.
yeah, like watching Imani play Chet, dog, both of them, like you can see basketball is gonna be in good hands. You know, I think Imani is the next one. Like he's the next guy who's gonna be the guy in the league. That's me personally, what I think. You know, and with Chet, I've had my reservations about Chet simply because of his frame, and a lot of people get stuck on the unicorn tag and things like that. It's not really my thing, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, shit, dog. Chet is performing. He's delivering. Every time you see him, every time he's playing on TV, he's on the stage, he's delivering. You know, so I mean, it's hard to doubt him at this point. You know, so when he comes out, he'll have a legitimate case to be the number one pick in the country if he decides to go to college, which I don't think is happening. Um, and then Jaden Hardy. You know, Jaden Hardy's another guy, man. He's explosive scorer. You know, another dude. I think he might take the G League route. But I mean, these dudes. I mean, basketball it's in a good place, man. These kids are talented. You know, they're becoming more athletic by the day. But I think that was just. I mean, there's plenty of many more to where that came from. You know, but I think that was the good eye opener for guys. You know, a good way to get acquainted with dudes like Imani, guys like Chet, who are going to be household names soon, just because they'll be up there for the drafts here pretty soon. You know, I think Imani will probably reclass so he can get to the league a little bit quicker. So I mean, they might end up coming out the same year. So I mean, we'll
Yeah,
see.
that would be pretty special. That'd
Yeah,
be pretty special. I'm gonna go the other way, man, because like you did say, Monty Bates, he's the big name. Like everybody say he's gonna be the next one, basically, as far
yeah.
as like being the face of the league. But I think, me personally, I think Jaden Hardy's gonna be the one, man. I think Jaden Hardy's gonna be the one. It's gonna be like how let's say LeBron and Kobe, like when LeBron became the face of the league and Kobe was kind of in the background. It was like, hey, I'm still here, whatever. So
Kobe was in the
I feel like it's
background.
gonna be one of those.
When was Kobe in the
Yeah,
back?
yeah, because like basically when LeBron got better, when LeBron essentially became the face of the league.
Mm.
But I'm talking about from the NBA standpoint. I'm not talking about from my standpoint because I'm a Kobe guy at the end of the day. I still feel like Kobe's a better ball player than LeBron. But anyway, I think it's gonna be that case with Jaden Hardy and Imani Bates. So I think Jaden Hardy gonna be the guy in my opinion, just based on what I've seen.
I
And
mean,
then with Chet Holmgren, oh
yeah.
my bad.
No, you good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, and then with like Chet Holmgren, like the skill set is there clearly. Like the
Mm-hmm.
guy can clearly do everything on the court. And he was kind of having his way with Imani Bates, but you know he got the size over Imani, man. At least Imani didn't run from the challenge, man. At least Imani did what he could. So I'll give Imani credit in that aspect. But Chet Holmgren, my thing with Chet Holmgren is, I hope he gets a little stronger because I feel like if he goes to the league, I feel like he might have an injury-riddled career like how Porzingis is right now, man. That's how I kind of feel about how Chet Holmgren right now. So he can definitely hoop. You just gotta wonder, is he gonna get stronger and he's gonna take care? Is he gonna be able to take care of his body? So
I don't know. I don't know how much weight he can pick up though. Like his frame wise, I don't know if his body will allow him to do it. You know, that's the issue with guys like that. You know, like they'll do everything that they need to do, but their body just doesn't allow them to pick up weight. So I don't. You're right about that. That's a scary thing with me, especially when you playing grown dudes. Like something that's helping him have success right now is his timing. You know, he has great timing. You know, just because he's not the strongest, but you know, he times his jumps and times his blocks and everything. Like he's probably one of the best I've seen at that in a long time. But I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, I'm really super high on Jaden Hardy. We played him 2 summers ago. He was playing up 2 years and played our 17 team, and they beat us. You know, simply because of him. he was just bombing it. Dude got a chop. You know, he can shoot it from anywhere. But I mean, he's definitely the best guard in his draft in his high school class. Um, I would like to see how he develops if he takes the G League route. But I mean, it's a lot of dudes, man. It's a lot of dudes on the way. You know, Cade Cunningham is a guy at Oklahoma State right now that I think he might be the best player in college basketball. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
big facts. I'm looking forward to watching this game for sure.
yeah. Cade is special, man. You know, it's a lot of dudes. You know, Jalen Green is in the G League right now. We're gonna see how this G League thing maps out for a few more years. You know, so it's guys coming, man. It's guys coming. I think there's a good amount of talent that's on the way. You know, I think the NBA is doing a great thing and becoming more involved. You know, and trying to create gateways for these dudes to help them become better players and create opportunities for their families. So definitely.
Now just kind of wrap it up here. Besides those guys that I mentioned or whatever, what are some other high school guys we need to keep an eye on?
I mean, don't let me get biased, man. Don't let I just start naming off Mo teams.
Hey, we
um,
can name those guys too, but that's gonna be the next question.
yeah.
As far as the Mocan guys too.
I'll try to keep it local for right now. Tamar Bates, who he's from Kansas City, Kansas. He's at IMG, which actually they played Jaden Hardy a few weeks ago on ESPN. His named Tamar Bates. He's committed to Texas. He'll be at Texas next year. Um, really good. There's a kid at Bishop Miege right now named Mark Mitchell. Um, five star kid, super talented. Aiden Shaw that goes to Blue Valley High School. He's a Mocan kid. I think he ends up being the top 30, maybe top 25 guy in his class. You know, I think he has a really good chance to be a pro. Um, show some love to a couple St. Louis guys. Kid named Terrace Reed down there at Chaminade. I mean, if we're just going local with it, um, Kennedy Chandler, who was our point guard on the Peach Jam team, is a guy who will be at Tennessee next year. Who I think will be really good.
Yeah, I heard about him.
Yeah, Tennessee got some dudes that's coming out next year too, man. It's a kid named. Remember this is a dude named Keon Johnson that's at Tennessee right now. You got a chance. You got a chance to turn into a lotto pick next year, man. For real. I mean, high school wise, man, I can just go all day, dog. If we talking about all around the country, that 2022 class is super special. Kid that I've really created a great relationship with over time, Sky Clark, who committed to Kentucky. He got a chance to be a really really good player. I'm trying to think just out that 2022 class. Zion Cruz is a kid from out in Jersey who's one to keep an eye on. He was at Oak Hill with Dior, but him and Dior ended up leaving before the season started. But those are just a few off the top of my head, man.
Okay.
Local and some Mocan dudes, you know. So
On Dior Johnson, because you mentioned him on Play for Keeps, man. Like,
yeah.
what's up with him? Like, I'm hearing 7 different high schools. Like, what's the deal with him? Like, what's going on? He just don't care about school. He's like whatever.
I mean, if we just being honest, man, you know, school's not for everybody. You know, like I know a lot about the situation, but it's not something I feel like I can just speak on in public like that. You know, I hope the kid finds a stable situation before he ends up leaving high school at some point. You know, he has. I don't know if I've seen a kid who's transferred that much, but I mean, he's talented as hell. You know, he's a player. So I mean, you're gonna get those opportunities. I just hope he falls into a situation that works for him, man, because we're literally watching a dude right now in the league who I think might be one of the most talented out of his draft class throw his shit away with like Kevin Porter Jr. You know, because of off the court decision.
Sad situation.
Yeah, you know, and so I mean, it's tough to watch situations like that when the kids are are talented and have a chance, you got a chance to change your family's life, man. Your immediate family. I mean, you can create generational wealth with this basketball thing, man. And guys don't really get that sometimes, and they don't make the best decisions. But I mean, sometimes people don't have the best um, supporting cast either. So I mean, you're a super talented kid. I mean, I just hope he finds some stability before he makes his next move after high school for sure.
Because that kid is definitely extremely talented, man. I've seen all kinds of clips from him, and he
Mhm.
got the goods, man. He definitely got the goods for sure. So hopefully hopefully his life doesn't spiral out of control, man. And hopefully it's a huge turnaround for him in the future. So,
Yeah.
but Brees, man, I want to thank you for joining the show, man. Joining this NBA draft special, and we're gonna look forward to tomorrow and see how things shake out, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely active on the timeline with it tomorrow during the draft, man. Y'all can follow me at TMC Vision. Follow my guys at underscore the Elite Media Group. We're trying to really create something, try to create some straight full African American company, trying to cover all bases and platforms and be one of the best content creating companies out there, So check us out.
All that, man, on all social media platforms. Follow the Elite Media Group on all social media platforms. You got the podcast on Apple, everything. So,
Yeah.
but once again, man, appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the support, man. Stay up, fam.
On the next episode.